Hello, 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 and welcome to our Tuesday healing service. I am Sonia Davidson, I'm a staff minister of the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living, and I welcome you to some reasoning and some reflections, and most of all, prayer. Yes, so we start as we always do. Let's start first with an opening affirmative prayer. We'll allow a little time to just be still, and I'll just ask you that stillness to reflect on what do I bring to this experience? What am I bringing to this experience this evening? And when you think about that in the silence, just receive the love that is radiating from me to you in the quiet. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So I recognize one power, one presence, God the infinite, that one called by many names, that one which has given of itself fully, unconditionally, and completely through its creation. Each one of us individually here this evening, those who are here now and those who are yet to come, those who have ever come, each one of us is a free and open channel for the infinite. What a gift. What love. And so it is that gift that pours itself into expression this evening as the words flow freely from each one of us, is received easily by each one of us. For the oneness which is God is a dominant experience for each and every person in this service. We call it love. We call it peace. We call it joy. We call it by any name. It is God, the living Spirit Almighty. So we take a few moments to just breathe in that deep and profound idea. I am the presence of God made manifest. And think, what gift do I bring to this experience? Right here, right now. And so it is. So it is. Thank you, Vance. This is a little taste. That's a little taste of the beauty of those lyrics. And I'm going to just read the rest for you. Yes, it's from Handel, and it's a famous aria. And I am sure you have heard almost every type of voice singing the words. But to me, the words, singing the song, the words mean so much to me. It is what I wish for everybody I encounter. It is what I wish and know for myself, I've decided that is my vision, my mission. So here are the words. Where'er you walk, cool gales shall fan the glade. Trees where you sit shall crowd into a shade. Trees where you sit shall crowd into a shade. Where'er you tread, the blushing flowers shall rise, and all things flourish. Where'er you turn your eyes. Where'er you walk, cool gales shall fan the glade. Trees where you sit shall crowd into a shade. Isn't that beautiful? What if we lived from that knowing that we are one with the one, and that one is presenting itself to us and through us wherever we go, touching nature and touching people who are part of nature. Now you would wonder what that has to do with my topic. My topic, Stairway to Heaven, traffic stop or signpost. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever been stopped on a highway. Yes. I think highway is a better one than stairway. Although some highways, our famous highway is pretty high, pretty steep, so it almost feels like it's a stairway. Now we've been stopped. I have been stopped, and I was not happy. Because I was not happy because I should have paid attention to the signs which told me how fast I should have been going. It was just a little bit over, but I think that the policeman was so gleeful, so happy to have a customer or a victim. And so I blame myself. I should have paid attention. No, for each of us, when we go through life, we get promptings. The signs are there that there are things we should attend to, things we should adjust. Sometimes we are not very attentive, so we don't see it. Or sometimes it comes from someone just giving us a little prompting and we don't like it. It doesn't suit us to listen because it has come from maybe someone that we're not ready to accept any encouragement from, because I call it an encouragement, because most people, when they try to reach out, say something to us, they're really trying to help us, but we don't always receive it in that way. But we ourselves, very often, because the humans are people who, we are one. The human family has thrived because we have succeeded in being together. There have been other humans and they have not been as fortunate as we have, because I understand from research that they did not have the advantage of being together in large communities as we have been. So one of the qualities of humans is that we like to reach out to each other. And in reaching out, sometimes we do that in words. We do that in words, and we have the advantage of words. But sometimes the words are not received in the way that they're intended. Yes, not always received in that way. And why not? Perhaps they were not sent in a way that was conducive to being accepted. in the way it should be. One day, after I had been reprimanded by my granddaughter for talking too long in church on the platform, I waited a few days and I said, okay, I'm going to speak again. No, give me an idea. What do you think I should speak about? And without hesitation, she said, you should speak about not pushing advice on people, but because they may not want it. And in any case, it might even be harmful to some people. So I've been giving that a lot of thought. And I said, you know, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Of course, she didn't elaborate, although I said elaborate. She left me to do the thinking. And I say to myself, if plants grow together, and I am told, right, that plants grow together silently and they collaborate. When they grow together, they collaborate. They thrive because they are able to share shade. They are able, underneath the roots, are able to share nutrients. There are lots of things that they can do to help each other without a single word. Well, maybe they speak and I don't know, because I actually did a course, how plants speak. And they really meant how they communicate with each other on a deeper level. Why can't we communicate with each other without words? And practice it so much that when the words come, they come spontaneously from that place of stillness where there are no words. There is only isness and amness. Therefore, when those words come and they stream through us, we are lifted up. We who speak them are lifted up. And they are received by those who we are impelled to share with. They're received in a way that is joyful, peaceful, and accepting. No, that doesn't just come overnight. That comes to the mind, that is, to the person who has worked diligently, the soul that has worked diligently to grow and advance. How do we do that? We remember who we are and persist in remembering it. Whatever we're doing, whatever we're saying, wherever we are. I was reading this very enlightening passages from Paramahansa Yogananda. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. You can correct me. Anybody who knows the book Autobiography of a Yogi, right? There are lots of YouTube sharings from his life. And I was recently reading one about spiritual magnetism. And a lot of it resembles what we teach in our Science of Mind, right? He goes a little further to remind us that every moment of the day, we should be setting our intention to think of ourselves as the presence. Not just in our isolated prayers and our meditations, all that is fine, but to develop an awareness that we speak as the presence of God. We think and act as the presence of God. It takes diligence, it takes mindfulness. It takes maybe setting aside even some time during the day. I admire the Muslims for this, setting aside time when they remind themselves to pray, really, really pray. But we could actually just be present all the time. And with that, we'll find ourselves measuring our growth by how our presence, wherever it is, makes a difference. It makes a difference. Our quiet, silent presence. If we go to a place where there's a group of people talking, our presence can create an atmosphere which is visible. We can see if the conversation is going in a direction that is not the way we would normally be comfortable with. Our presence, our silent presence, can just shift the conversation. If we're not even present somewhere, but we choose to gift somebody with a consciousness of love and light, we can just shine our consciousness on that person. Since the last class that practitioner Steve Golden, Vance Gladden, and I have been teaching, I have been practicing this and enjoying it and being the recipient of it as well. Just reach out your consciousness of love and light to someone, and they reach back to you. Whether you're aware of it or not, you know that they do this, right? Am I being heard? I've lost some people, right? So I just want to just say that, you know, it's easy to become enthusiastic, and when we feel the need to share the beauty and the love and the light that we are feeling inside, and we hear somebody else in our own eyes may not be feeling the same thing that we think we're feeling, we might have to resist the temptation to just jump and start to give them advice. I can remember, I'm guilty of this for sure, and less so now, I hope. In the stages of consciousness, John Randall Price speaks about how before we become aware that there's another way, some of us are born with that idea that there is another way of living other than just eating, sleeping, going to bed and coming up, that we are more than just flesh. That there is after we have come through a couple stages, it will dawn on us in some way that we are more than that, that we are something special, created to be a vehicle for something special. And he goes through the phases. You can look at it for yourself. Phase one, we might be just knowing that we've been brought up to do the right thing, and we have been gone to Sunday school, and we have been given all the right things to do. So we know we're acting the right way, doing the right things. And as we go along, it dawns on us, there is more. And eventually it comes to us that we may come upon a teaching like ours, right? Which says, you are in fact not just more and born to be more, you are the presence of God. And then we start to really get excited. We're feeling better, we're feeling happy, and we have been reading a lot of books, and we understand about the Lord, God works and so on. And then we want to go tell everybody. We want to go shout and tell everybody how to live, because we have discovered how to live. It's annoying to people. It can be annoying to people. And also it means that we have not, in looking at the people and wanting to fix them, we have not given them the privilege of knowing that they too are on a journey. They are on a journey, they're on a highway a smooth highway, and we don't want to be like the policeman who thinks they're going, oh, you know, and correct them, right? And yes, the policeman is doing his duty, but we don't want to police people. We want to see them, and the best way to help them is the way that I am trying my best and learning every day to resist the temptation to tell people how they should live, and rather to look at them and see the consciousness of beauty that lies beneath any moment that they may be going through that is less than what they would want to be. To be silent before I speak, and to maybe silent and not to speak, but before I speak, to pay deep and rapt attention to them, to hear them at a deeper level, to feel the God presence. And then if I'm impelled to speak, I will speak. And I know it must and will make a difference for good, even if in that moment it doesn't appear to be. I am wondering, and it's the time when I ask. I'm going to ask you who are here, have you ever been tempted to speak, to correct people, to tell them how they should speak in the early stages of your and my learning about this fact that there is a law that takes our words as we speak it, our thoughts as we think it, and manifest it, whether we want it that way or not. Have we been tempted to correct people? Accept or not? Absolutely. Carol says, from I learned from Reverend Elmer, no judgment, no. Why I'm here being the, and George Young says, why am I here being the presence of God? If you're on Zoom, you know, you can speak, right? Or you may not be, right? You are thinking, yeah. And you know, I forgive myself, you know, because I forgive myself because I know it was enthusiasm. Guide me. How are some of the ways that you who are listening to me are finding maybe different ways, more helpful ways to help people who we come in contact with, who we may think need a blessing from us? They're in our presence. They are showing obvious signs of distress, maybe signs that they may have forgotten what we know they know, or what we think they don't know. Unwisely, of course, because within everyone is buried the seed of godness, which contains everything that we need to know. And that's how we came about it in the first place. But help me, people. I need some conversation. Everyone has met people who they would like to help. Share with me some of your wisdom, how you have been able to. I can wait.
Blessings, Rev.
Hi, Junior.
For me, you know, it's really developing that, being patient, you know, understanding that individuals grow and react at the level that they can comprehend. You know, and as you said, when, you know, just coming into this practice and you're stepping in up to another level, you know, you were like, you know, preaching, but it's a process where you are now living. You know, you don't have to say anything. Persons will see the glow on you. just by how you stand, just by how you move, persons will see something within you and say, hey, this is how I feel about you. They will be attracted to how you will live. They will seek you out. So it's just like, having that spiritual connection like Elijah and Elisha. When Elijah passed Elisha and he didn't say anything, but Elisha went to him and said, give me a moment for me to tell my parents bye. So that spiritual connection. So I think, in being in the presence of God is having that aura around you, in you, through you, and as you, that anyone that comes into your presence recognize that safe space, recognizes who you are.
Safe space. I love that. Safe space. Beautiful. Because when people feel safe in your presence or with your attention, they become calm, and in calmness, there is clarity. And with clarity, there is understanding. And where there is understanding, there is growth. Wow. Thank you for that, Julia. I like the term safe space. Yes. Thank you for that.
Okay, what you have triggered is questions for me. How am I being? How am I being in certain situations with people that I'm not going to tell them that's not the way to do it, because their reaction I might not be able to cope. But what the discussion now is allowing me to ask myself whether I, in fact, go to beyond the appearance of what is happening, of how people are demonstrating, whether I pass judgment or well, I tell you what, a lot of times I find myself saying to myself, cleanse thou me from secret faults. When I realize the stance that I am taking in certain situations, because I know that my posture internally, that is not consistent with practicing the presence, and therefore I it's almost like I see myself, I'm judging myself, seeing myself in error, and asking myself to be free of any judgment or any censoring of another person. It's one of the easiest things that you can do, because we are always seeing otherness. Because a person doesn't behave like you, doesn't talk like you, there is a chatter that can go on in your head. But why are they always doing that? That is not, are they telling the truth? So it's really a constant conversation with myself about seeing the truth in people and situations that I interact with.
Carol, thank you for that, because exactly what I'm doing with myself. Every time I get a clap back for a statement, it is my measure of time to grow some more. Yes. And the clap back must be coming, whether intentional or not, deep down. I must be seeing that person who I am speaking to. Even though the words do not say that, I must be seeing them other than the truth about themselves. So it is a measure of my level of consciousness. It helps me to work that much harder on myself. It's a measuring stick. But everywhere, that's why I play that thing. Again, wherever I walk, my whole life, mission, and vision is to walk in such a way that only shade, protection, goodness, and beauty will show up without words. I thought that masterpiece by Handel, I knew I saw the backstory. Forget the backstory. It's everybody's story that is part of our growth. And I'm glad you brought that up because that was my key to this thing. We measure ourselves and our spiritual growth to the extent that we are viewing other people from that place, that holy place, that place of wholeness, which they are. And we are connecting with them. One and one.
So it's always, sorry, it's constantly reminding yourself of oneness, of there being that of honoring whatever it is that is different. And by honoring, I mean, okay, it's like when Reverend Anna and I go to the correctional center. I'm bringing up this one now. People would say, but these people have committed crimes, they're probably murdered or whatever. And somehow when you go there, the first thing that you realize that you have to do is to suspend any judgment about these people as to what they have done or what they intend to do or where they are coming from. It gives you an opportunity to see people from a pure, to just forget who they are. It's easier than dealing with the people in my everyday life then, because I am thinking about them and saying, okay, they might be this, da, 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 da. But when you get into that space, you know that you take no judgment there, and it don't matter who they are just people who could be the other side of you.
Wow. So if you go to help and you're helped, you go to teach and you're taught.
Yeah. Yes, because so I realized that I'd never see anybody in there as a thief or robber, whatever. It's easier for me to think that of the people, of their custodians, than of the people who they are guarding.
Wonderful.
In other words, I find myself being less judgmental about them, the inmates, than the people who are looking after them.
And maybe in time you will include them in your thinking as well, because you have geared yourself by your prayer and your recognition of the oneness which is God in all people, to see them as they really are. I think Carol, the other Carol is up.
Sorry, and just one last thing. And now that I've said it to you, I realize that is the position that I should take in my everyday walk outside of that place with other people. That I know business with who they are. That who they are don't matter.
You're preempting me, because when I said to my granddaughter, you're to use your knife or fork, you're to do this, you think she was deliberately clapping back at me, but it was not in the moment. So I have taken that in, that whenever I go anywhere, I go as the presence of God, meet in the presence of God, and I have to work on that. And every encounter will help me to grow. Is that another Carol putting up her hand, or it was
yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, oh, the other Carol, yes. Okay.
No, it just brought to my memory. I'm sure many of us grew up with our parents telling us, when you point one finger at somebody, 4 more pointed back at you. Right? So the cessation of judgment, and it is so easy to judge other people, but it has to be a conscious effort on our part to remember that the 4 pointing back at us is not to judge us, but to remind us that whatever it is that we're seeing in this other person first has to be in us for us to recognize it in the other person. So the 4 fingers pointing back at you, that's four ways of self-correction that you need to take a look at. Like I said, in the moment, somebody mash your corn, it is very easy to fling some judgment out there. But once you become aware of the tendency, then you can, hold strain, count to 10 before you clap back. And just remember who you're looking at.
Yeah.
Really doesn't need your judgment. They don't need your judgment, they need your understanding. No matter what you think they might be doing. And even your intention could be very good in terms of, this judgment that you're putting out there. The intention is not to judge them. The intention is to aim some correction. But who tell you they want correction?
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Or as Abigail said, they may not want it, and in any case, they're not ready for it. So you might actually harm them in the process. Can you imagine 13-year-old girl telling me that, right? Just walk off to leave me to ponder that, right? But you see, I hear you, and both Carols. Because we've been teaching and we've been ourselves how to be, whenever we meet the obvious situation which requires us to go deep inside, we are on guard. But what about just the casual encounters, where we're looking out to driving along and we see the man lie down on the street, or the person wiping our car window, or not only that, just nothing that requires any special effort, but just to allow the blessing of our consciousness to just radiate to other people, whether we think they are in need or not. Because as you say, if we think they're in need, we are not. That's not a blessing, that's a curse. We are actually condemning them without intending. But we could grow to that point, work on ourselves. We grow to that point that wherever we go, trees, right, go in the shade. Trees go in the shade. Just continue to work, but it takes diligence, as you say, right? Both of you. And all of you said that we need to be consistent, and so that it becomes spontaneous right action. We have the tools, we pray, we meditate, we are mindful. If we take what I have taken away from, especially with the training of Sheena Robinson, is the mindfulness, to be mindful in whatever you're doing. So you continue to be so mindful that you notice things you would not have noticed before. And in the mindfulness, you are more centered in the awareness that I am the presence of God made manifest. I am the presence. So I speak as a presence, I eat as a presence, I talk as a presence, I walk as a presence. And that is what Yogananda wants us to do, to be so aware that every casual encounter, every thought becomes a blessing to another by the fact that we are where God shows up, right? It's a journey. It's a highway. We need to watch the steps, the signposts that we see is the feedback that we get from people. So we don't have to wait for the clap back of the policeman, right? He stops us, right? That happened once, it will happen again. It had no, I won't say that. It has not happened again, right? And so that's it. And thank you for sharing your very deep thoughts, right? So we are going to go on so that we conform to time. Okay, I'm going to ask if anybody needs any prayers, but if you, I will still go ahead and do whatever prayers I am led to do, right? Any, Vance, you're helping me, and Carol, are there any prayer requests?
Sorry, I'm not seeing any in the chat.
I've seen it.
Okay, so I will start.
I just
Oh,
put one in the chat.
oh.
Okay.
Yes, it's here for love.
Yes.
Okay, my favorite prayer. Okay. God is the only power, the only presence. God, the living spirit almighty, has incarnated each one of us to express itself. It has incarnated as Carol. It has incarnated and given her of itself fully and completely to do what it will, to be what it will. The gift of love, so complete, so precious. It is that which just attracts to Carol every thought, every idea which conforms with the beauty, the loveliness of her presence, her uniqueness. It is that which lifts her up to experience herself as so beautiful, so special, so radiant, so powerful, so wonderful. It comes back to her by the affirmations and the actions of the presence of God announcing itself through other persons who she meets, even animals, even plants, everything sentient being responds to her in ways that affirms the loveliness of her presence. She feels warm and appreciated. She feels so, so valuable. And she projects that out into her atmosphere and draws into her experience individuals who complement that. Friendship, intimacy, all manner of radiant experiences with the God presence in her life, according to her desires. And so I know right here and right now, in this moment, that which we choose to call love, which is the presence of God made manifest, is now vibrating at a higher level than ever before, as the life of Carol. I feel it, I know it. I let it be so, and so it is. So it is.
So it is.
When I go on to do an affirmative prayer of
The
wholeness.
prayer of wholeness.
Yes. I've chosen that, and somebody has chosen it. Oh, is there someone who asked for that? Wholeness? Okay. Okay, this is an affirmative prayer of wholeness for anyone and everyone who is accepting of this right here and right now. I know that the presence of God, that pure, unbounded presence which undergirds all creation, is that which has formed out of itself the human experience, body and mind. It is that which is expressing itself as each and every person within the sounds of my voice and anywhere else. It is coordinating every single particle, every organ, every system. It is allowing the entire organism, the entire being called by the name of anyone listening to me. It is coordinating it to experience livity. It's experiencing energy, precise functioning, every aspect of beingness. It is allowing it to seep into their emotions as happiness, as peace, as divine energy. I know that all is well with them. I give thanks. I give thanks. And so it is.
It is.
Someone needs it. I accept it.
I'm not seeing any more.
I would like to do an affirmative prayer of joy. God is the only power, the only presence, and that power and that presence created each and every person to experience itself as the beauty of God's presence, revealing itself in everything, every form of enjoyment, every aspect of being flowing through us, it's just scintillating with happiness, with a sense of gratitude that we are in fact embodied in this experience we call life. So each and every one of us looks out at this life and sees reflected back at us every pleasure of the experience in its finest reality. It comes to us in forms that allows us to take our appreciation at a higher level, that we are in fact creating experiences and thoughts of ourselves that bring greater joy to the people we come in contact with, and even people we do not know. But because we are in fact channeling the creativity of the divine, out of this comes just wonderful experiences for persons known and unknown right across the planet, because we are experiencing this vibration that we choose to call joy. It is rippling across our planet and lifting up many, many persons, wherever they may be, in this moment who are feeling it and say, wow, what life, what joy. I am so grateful that I am here at this time, in this body, in this experience, knowing, believing what I do. This is true for everyone, anywhere. It's true for us now. Pure joy manifesting itself in pleasure and happiness. Thank you, God, that it is so. And so it is. Amen.
So it is.
Okay, so we can move on. If you have no other request, I think what we have prayed for would have embodied anything else, right? Including right action, right? So maybe have more announcements. Is that where we are now? Announcements. And thank you for all of you who are here. I can't see you all, but whoever can, I thank you for your being here. And your name after we have made them. Okay. Right. Right. So, okay, I'm sure by now you know that we continue to have quiet moments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 a.m. and noon bites at 12. Right. So please remember to tune in.
The arranger of the dances in a ballet.
Okay.
Sir, what is a choreographer? Yes.
Okay. So we have classes have begun And we're inviting you to come on Thursdays at 7. You will get your further information by calling the temple, right? The class will be facilitated. It's a new class, right? And it will be facilitated by Vance Gardner, Sonia Davidson, and Steve, right? Steve, are you there? I think I see you there, right? He's all the way in foreign, right? So it's Sonia, Steve, and Vance. And Prep Hall, of course, continues at 6. Yes, it's not a last Sunday, so it's at 6. We invite you all to have the experience, even once, and I'm sure you come once, you want to keep coming. It's different. Please come. Okay. So, right. Sundays continue, right? At 9, we are slowly getting over the streaming challenge, but we'd love to have you in person. Do come in person and invite others to come online who are at a distance or to come in person, right? 9 a.m. Yep. And okay, remember, every Tuesday, same time, same place, 6 p.m. We have different practitioners who are sharing with you as you shared with us this evening, and I shared with you. So we are inviting you to come and experience and to share it with us. Okay? Yes, it's on Zoom and it's on YouTube. And as usual, we are asking you to remember that our church, right, continues to receive your support, and we appreciate it. We want you to know we do appreciate it, and I want you to continue to support us directly at the temple, or you could go to donate.templeoflightcsl.org to donate, or you can go to, yes, you will be able to donate if you go transfer to our Temple of Light. I think it's Scotiabank, right? You can get that information, so you can transfer money from your bank account directly to Scotiabank. There are many ways in which you can support. Yes, but your cash and your help. And I'm also suggesting that if you can't come to classes and you want to sponsor somebody to come to class, that would also be one way of helping. Yes. Okay, thank you. Yes. So at this moment, if you're about to give or think of giving, I would like you to just put your hands over your heart and say the affirmation. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase, and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. Thank you, Father. And so it is. So it is. Okay, you can, I don't mind if we all sound like the Tower of Babel. Please unmute so we can say this together. Unmute, if you can. The Temple of Light, center
for spiritual living, sacred being, body, or spirit, from which Christ now
Enjoy,
draw many
touch,
to heal,
prosper, and to liberate
and deliver anyone who comes into contact in any way.
the light of the
out of the Christ in us.
our center and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness, guiding us
ceases along path of wisdom.
We are blessed, and to God be the honor. So it is. Amen. Thank you, Yvonne. Please. others. Prayer of Jamaica. The radiant light
Light
of
of God's love
is now
now
flowing
flowing through
through us and from
and
us.
from us to everything
Everything and
and
everyone
everyone.
touches us. The eternal
Eternal light, God's love, now
now
completely
fills,
covers
covers,
and
and
surrounds
surrounds
our island Jamaica.
the glowing
Glowing intensity
of the light
light of God's love
now
now to penetrate
penetrates and awakens
breaks within the
the
heart
heart, the
and
minds,
minds of our countrymen
countrymen,
and women.
the
Truth
truth
of
of
life
life,
is said free. The
light
light
of
of
God's
God's
love,
love
growing
growing
and
and
growing
glowing
in
in
intensity
intensity.
in the
The
heart
hearts and minds of
and
mankind
everywhere.
everywhere. Love,
Love,
health,
love,
harmony,
harmony, goodness,
goodwill, peace,
peace, uprightness,
brightness, integrity,
integrity,
joy,
joy,
prosperity, kindness, and
and
our honest under God are now established. And so it is.
so it is. So we just do a closing blessing by just allowing the power and presence which brought us together to continue to support every thought we think, every word we speak, every emotion, every reaction, every action. And know that with every moment we move deeper and deeper into that constant awareness of our Godness. We know that every day becomes more joyful, more fulfilling, and we live spontaneously as a blessing to all people, wherever we go, wherever our thoughts go. We know that truly we are the presence of God made manifest, having a blessed and wonderful experience, living life abundantly and experiencing the abundance of all goodness that has been promised to us by virtue of the fact that we are. So we give thanks in gratitude for this experience, for all those who have joined their consciousness with us now, and to know that each one of us receives an instant blessing. Thank you, God, that it is so. Amen. Amen. Amen.
So it is